Mr. Araqchi, thank you very much for speaking to us. We know that the focus of the 3 days of talks has been the issue of sanctions, specifically after the action taken by the US Congress and also the announcements made by US officials. Can you say that tangible improvement has been made in this issue? Is Iran going to have all of the sanctions immediately removed once the deal is implemented?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Well, the agreement we came to on the question of sanctions in Lausanne are clear. As you said, there has been some remarks or comments by officials in the US which created lots of question marks, and also the act by the Congress to introduce the new bill was actually added to this complicated situation. We had a very good discussion with especially the US delegation, asking them to clarify their position regarding sanctions, to clarify what is going on in the Congress. And I think the explanation by the US delegation was very useful. Now we have started to work on the draft of the JCPOA. Obviously, at the beginning, we need to talk about the frameworks and format of such a draft. We have made some progress, but very slowly. As you said, the focus of our discussion this time was on the question of sanctions, and we try to start drafting by, in fact, the question of sanctions and related issues.
So you did start drafting, you did start writing down parts of the final document?
Yes, we have already started.
And can I also ask you about the issue of research and development? Because there's also contradictions with the US fact sheet and the joint statement or the information that Iran has given on this issue when it comes to specifically advanced centrifuges. Yeah.
Well, there are many issues like that. All of them are important. The question of R&D is also very, very important. But as I said, this time we only took care of sanction-related issues. We will go to other issues in the next round of talks.
So if I did understand well, sanctions was one of the chapters that you actually started drafting here. Apart from that one, is there any other chapter that you have progressed in the field of drafting?
No, this time we only worked on the question of sanctions. But the fact is we had worked on other issues, the preamble of the JCPOA some months ago, I think in July last year. We have already some part of our text. We have already done some drafting in the past, but then it was stopped because we had no solution on major issues. Now we have solutions on almost each and every issue. What we have to do is to write down these solutions and in a form of a draft of an agreement. We have started now from the sanctions, and we will go to other issues next time.
Can I also ask just another question about the problem of sanctions, and that is, if there is an instance of non-commitment, for instance, the reimposition of sanctions, does it have to be approved by the United Nations Security Council or not?
We are working on a dispute settlement mechanism, the details of which are still under consideration. We do attach great importance to the possibility of violation of commitments by either side, especially from the other side who has unfortunately not a good record on implementing its commitments. We will certainly have a dispute settlement mechanism according to which if any violation would occur, if any misunderstanding would emerge, we will go to that mechanism and try to resolve that before we come to a situation to in fact terminate the agreement.
And very quickly, finally, do you think by the end of June it is realistic that we're going to have the comprehensive agreement written down?
I think it is realistic. Of course, it's a very hard, very difficult job, but we are hopeful. We think that if all parties are serious, which they are, we can conclude this discussion and our talks before the end of June. This is quite possible. We think that the agreement is at our reach. But of course, at any time, maybe unpredictable, events may cause problem in the way. But if we go in a normal pace, I think we can finish the job.
So one last question.